Andy Moog will start in goal. He's allowed 1 goal in the last 5 periods in this series. He's recovered from a shaky first period of Game 4 here on Tuesday and has been excellent ever since, particularly in the first period of Game 5 on Thursday. Peter Sidorkiewicz trying to get the Whalers back even in this series. He has had many a brilliant moment in this series as well.
Getting back to a statement I made the other evening during the early part of the game, that one of the best moves that Mike Milbury made was a move he didn't make, not taking Andy Moog out, sticking with him.
Whalers open up with Zarley, Zalapsky, and Brad Shaw behind John Cullen, Pat Verbeek, and Mark Hunter. Here's Cullen cutting in against Glenn Wesley, gets center against Wesley, who takes over the puck. He opens up on the fence with Raymond Bourque. Zalapsky shoots a save by Moog. He hangs on as Cullen was busting to the net. And the Bruins up front have Petri Skriko, Dave Poulin, and Dave Christian.
Mike Milbury seeing himself in the same position as last year, up by a game in the Whaler building. That was a heck of a hockey game last year. One thing the Whalers have got to do, Rick, is they've got to get their shots down a little bit. Andy Moog seems to be kicking a lot, and he does kick rebounds, but it's tough up there. He has a good glove hand and not many rebounds when you get it up that high.
He thought about covering the puck there, but there were no Whalers in the vicinity, so it's Wesley to shoot it off the boards. Shaw controls it. Poulin charging after him. John Cullen checked by Wesley as the Bruins dump it in. But feeds it off the boards. Verbeek tips it along. Skriko tapped it back to his defense. Poulin into Christian, who has scored a goal in the last 3 games in this series and has a couple of game winners for Boston. Brad Shaw starts it up ice. He'll lob it to the corner. Moog plays it himself. Poulin comes over forward. He's bumped by Bobby Holik. Christian plays it to the corner on his way to the bench. Bruins send out Randy Burridge, Ken Hodge, and Bob Sweeney. The Whalers have Jim McKenzie on with Bobby Holik and Rob Brown. As Sivan Kote back for the puck. Burridge with a forechecking. Bob Sweeney centers. It's knocked down by Randy Ladouceur on the pass intended for Hodge. And it's Holik driving it on Moog from center ice. Bob Sweeney bumped by a couple of Whalers. That opened things up for a moment for the Bruins, but Hodge got tangled up with Kote and an offside play results.
The Whalers have to watch themselves as we get a peek at Rick Lee in their anxiousness. 2 guys went to 1 man, and there was a man advantage for the Bruins on the Whalers side of center ice because of that. Got to just a little poised right now. Got to be cool in certain situations. You'll see Brown and Holik take a shot at Sweeney. Good play by Sylvain Cote. Rob Brown is playing center with Holik on the right side and Big Jim McKenzie on the left side. But I think what happens is Rob Brown is there mainly for the face-offs, and he and Holik, when the puck's in their end, will switch roles, and Holik will become the centerman.
Brown draws it back to Doug Huda. Todd Richards paired with him. Whalers have Randy Cunnyworth, Jeff Parker, Ed Kastelik on the sidelines tonight. Bobby Carpenter remains out for the Bruins. Holik got it tapped away, and out comes Hodge. Lead pass to Burridge. Lets the shot go. It's wide of Sidorkiewicz. Richards tracks it down, brings it ahead of the 3-on-3. Behind the back to McKenzie. Lets the wrist shot go, and it's blocked by Moog for Don Sweeney. His pass caromed just by McKenzie. Bruins trying to chop it out of trouble here, and finally they work it ahead to Randy Burridge. It's kicked away inside the zone by Paul Sear. Holik is trapped in that zone outside. We've played 2:19 of scoreless hockey here in Game 6.
There's Kenny Hodge at the end of the Bruin bench. He's 25 years old today. I remember him when he was a very young boy.
We welcome our audience from TSN, the Sports Network. As we're scoreless, with nearly 2.5 minutes played here in the opening period. Andy Moog, Peter Sidorkiewicz, the goaltenders. They've seen all the action in net in this series. Zalapsky back for it as We're happy our TSN audience is with us. Bradshaw sails into the corner. Karam in front, Jake shoots, and he just sends it wide. Terry Yake cut in there. Bradshaw rips it on goal, and Moog with a stop. Don Krieger sends it by Tomlak's stick. Tomlak sends it in behind the net. Krieger trying to get to it. He does. Plays it back to Mike Tomlak. He was out of the first 3 games of this series. This is his 3rd consecutive appearance. Lost the handle. Chris Nyland steps out. 3-on-2. He's got Poulin with him and Marquardt. Nyland to Marquardt. Shooting. He scores!
This is a line outside of Poulin that doesn't get much ice time. Chris Nyland and Nevin Marquardt, the 11th and 12th players for this Bruin team, well, they connect for the opening goal here. This is a 3-on-2, and Poulin right here will make a nice pass, and Nyland lays it right in the garden spot for Nevin Marquardt, who is not a great goal scorer, but he finds himself in a super position. Little give and go between Poulin and Nyland. Boy, you love to get pucks in that spot. You can just tee it up. Happy guy, Nevin Marquardt.
His first point of the series. Nyland and Poulin get the assists at 3:17. Craig Janney on the move, cuts in against Ladouceur. The pass across for Wesley. Couldn't get it on goal as Deneen caught up to him from behind. And Ladouceur plays it down the ice. So the Bruins score on their first shot, and we have a penalty indicated. It will go against Dean Evason, it looks like. 16:20 to go, first period. Each team will be penalized when we come back.
Its first playoff goal. It's 1-0 Washington in the first.
Lazaro and Evason will get the slashing calls. Jeff Lazaro with a couple of goals in this series. The Whalers got to be careful right now. They're having a problem putting the puck in the net. Carryover from the last game. They just can't open it up. They have to hang in at 1-0 for as long as they can.
Randy Ladouceur and Sylvain Cote operate behind Paul Cyr, Terry Yake, and Kevin Deneen. Yake, stick handles in. Pass in front to Deneen. Backhander, a pad save by Moog. Played away. Ladouceur fires. That's blocked by Burridge. Ladouceur got it back. Cyr shoots and hit Deneen's stick as he was parked in front of the Bruin goaltender. Bruins moving ahead to Cam Neely. Fires, and it's snuffed out by Ladouceur. Lays it back to Cyr. Don Sweeney gives it to Gary Galley. Galley lobs it into the corner. Cote under some heat there from Burridge. Down goes Cote into the bucket, centered by Poulin for Christian. Broken up. And John Cullen pops it off the glass and out. Don Sweeney. Ladouceur helped out now as he goes back for the puck. And it will be icing against the Boston Bruins.
Randy Ladouceur's had a terrific series offensively. 5 points, a goal, 4 assists, and that's more than he got all year. But he's on the ice when Cam Neely's on there most of the time, and not only has he played well offensively, here's a chance as Dean will backhand it. And once again, these pucks are getting up a little too quickly on Andy Moog. Ladouceur's on the ice an awful lot against Cam Neely, and I'll tell you, there's some avalanche-type collisions between these two guys. They're both hard players.
Randy's in a slump, though, Jerry. He hasn't scored in a couple of games. Here's John Cullen trying to turn the corner. Verbeek goes down. Poulin will go off. The first power play of the game will belong to Hartford. Bruins lead. Let's pause for a regional break.
The opposition take penalties is when you have a player with a knack of John Cullen to control the puck. You got to keep moving like Verbeek right in the middle of your screen, and he forces Poulin to take him down. If you stand there waiting for the pass, you're easy to cover, but if you keep moving, you force the opposition to take penalties. Especially, as I said, Rick, when a guy like John Cullen has that expertise to just control the puck.
Whalers have had a good series in the power play, though they missed on 4 chances the other night. They're 6 of 21, almost 29% for the series, and here at home in 2 games, they're 3 of 8. That's a percentage of almost 38%. Ranks as the best in the playoffs so far. Bob Sweeney and Cullen on the draw. Whalers control. Shaw gives it to Verbeek. In deep to Cullen. Hustled by Bork. Verbeek hurries in there. Cullen slips away. Shoots! Saved by Moog. He feared that the puck had crept behind him, but he managed to keep his leg pads on top of it for a whistle. Mark Hunter is in a tug-of-war in that goal mouth.
John Cullen comes out of the corner to the right of Moog. Moog is going to make the save, I believe, with the pads right around the knee area. And he's just going to squeeze. That goes it's a little lower than that. You see it better from ice level. John Cullen, who can come out of the corner and look one way and shoot the other way, a little like Bob Cousy. Andy Moog knows he's got it. He doesn't want to move. If he does, he probably feels it'll pop out there, and the whistle hasn't gone yet.
Christian controls the faceoff for Wesley. Bob Sweeney trying to take care of the point man Zalapsky. Couldn't get the job done. It's Verbeek in front. Hunter shoots. He scores, but it's waved off. A hand pass is indicated by Kerry Fraser. And it remains 1-0 Bruins despite the vehement protest to the Hartford Whalers.
Now there's no use arguing. The decision has been made. Let's watch it. When John Cullen falls here, Kerry Fraser, you'll see here. Now watch John Cullen, number 15. Let's see if he does glove it ahead when he falls. He didn't touch it, but the referee thought he did touch it. I mean, you can't argue the decision's been made. It seemed from that angle he did not touch it. A tough break for the Hartford Whalers. Let's see if we see it better from another angle. Cullen right here. Watch his right hand. No, he did not touch it. This was a legitimate goal. But, you know, that's the breaks of the game. It's an impulse reaction by Fraser. Just got to work harder, I guess. That was a bad break.
It remains 1-0 Boston with 1:32 remaining on a hooking call to Dave Poulin. 14:25 left in the clock in the first period. Shaw. Moog does not come out after it. Wesley overskates it, but got it back. Bork banks it off the board. Shaw right there. Charlie Zalapsky shoots it in. Moog tries to slow it down. Bork hurried by Hunter. Cullen nearly with a steal, but he overskates it. Wesley having problems in there with Verbeek and Cullen. Verbeek steps in front. Wesley blocked the pass. Shaw sends it back down the boards. Verbeek finally gets it to Cullen and hopped over his stick. Now Bork goes down as he gets tangled up with Hunter. The Bruin fans on hand object. Play continues as Bob Sweeney angles it out with 40 seconds to go on Poulin's penalty.
Meanwhile, we're forgetting, but what a shot by Mark Hunter.
Zalapsky's held up, and the Whalers must start again. Zalapsky cruises in, drops it back for Bobby Holy. Richards fires, saved by Moog, rebound loose. Zalapsky pops it in front. It's taken away by Burridge. 13 seconds remaining on the Bruin penalty. Holy intercepts the dump in. Rob Brown, who had a power play goal that stood as the game winner in Game 1, cannot penetrate the zone as Poulin leaves the box. And the Bruins have protected their 1-0 lead on a Nevin Marquardt goal. Don Sweeney trying to get rid of it quickly. Stolen. Holik fires. A save by Moog, who came out to meet him. Belhuda slides it into Brown. Holik's in front. Don Sweeney tied him up, and Striko picks it off. Back to Craig Janney. Janney to Don Sweeney up the middle, leaves it to Neely on the backhand. The shot is tipped wide by Kevin Dineen. Sir couldn't get rid of it. Striko centers. Janney's alone and kicked it behind Cam Neely. They were alone in front of Zadorkovich momentarily. Here's Janney with a poor pass, a rarity for him. Don Sweeney plays it back to Galley. No shortage of tension in this building. No shortage of good scoring opportunities at both ends of the ice, primarily in the Boston zone in the opening 8 minutes. Here's Yake ahead to Paul Sear. Lets it go, and it's wide of Moog to Sharp-Kieram. Eludes Neely. Polafsky's back on with Shaw. The Bruins are trying to complete a change. Polafsky carries it in. Wrist shot is tipped, and it ends up over the glass and out of play. 1-0 Boston. 11:37 to go here in period number 1.
Kelly Miller stuffs it past Mike Richter. That makes it 2-0 Washington. Then Mike Ridley, another former Ranger, will put it past Richter. It's 3-0. Van Beesbrook is in. Washington leads it by 3 in the first.
Peter Sidorkiewicz. He's played pretty well this series. Let's watch in front of the net. These two guys, Janney and Neely, all alone. Janney probably felt he had guys all around, and that's why he tried to rush it. Not too often those two guys are there by themselves and don't score.
After 8-2 Hartford for the first 8:23. McKenzie tips it over to Shaw. Wrist shot. It hit Todd Krieger in the hip. Finds it back to the corner. Bob Sweeney is there. Shaw trying to keep it in, does so. Tomlak escapes the clutches of Wesley, hands it to McKenzie. Krieger lets it go for Shaw. He bumps with Ruzicka. The Bruins moving out to Hodge. Polafsky's back. Here's Bob Sweeney late. Cuts in, shoots, scores! And Boston has a 2-0 lead.
Well, Bob Sweeney's been a tough player against the Whalers for an awful long time. But Ruzicka made the play at the Bruin blue line right here by flipping it up. Now watch Sweeney. It seems that he can be caught, but he puts on the Jets here, gets a step, and Shaw makes a fake to his forehand, and it looked like Sidorkiewicz was over, but Sweeney tucked it up top. Kenny Hodge will notice Sweeney coming in pretty fast. One little shift right here to the forehand, and up top. You practice this going up top all year, and you're rewarded with a goal in the Stanley Cup playoffs. It looked like he had painted himself into the corner, but a good play by Sweeney. But the big play of that goal was the play of Ruzicka at the Bruin blue line. 8-3 the shots favoring Whalers, 2-0 Bruins. And if it was critical when it was 1-0, it's twice that now.
Sweeney had 4 of his 15 goals against Hartford in the regular season. His second goal here of this series. The assists go to Ruzicka and Hodge at 8:50. Huda brings it out for the Whalers. He hands it to Mark Hunter. Runs into Poulin. As for Beek. Gets back to center. Richards drives it in. Hunter winds his way down the boards. He runs into Alan Peterson, who went down. Nyland brings it out slowly, has Marquardt and Poulin with him. Poulin derailed by Doug Huda. Huda steps around Poulin, takes the pass to Hunter. He'll tip it out. Fort drives it back in. Whalers have Brown out there between Hunter and Verbeek. Hunter tips it, but not out. Thrown in front. Richards knocked it down for Hunter. He lifts it over Don Sweeney this time, and also out of play into the penalty box area.
John Cullen is probably having his skate resharpened as he's on the bench doing his skate up now. That's why we saw Brown at center on that line. There you see John Cullen facing the other way. He's ready to go.
Cullen with 9 points, to the leading scorer in the series, still among the scoring leaders in Stanley Cup play. Mike Milbury and Chris Nyland can have a little chuckle.
Now they're up 3-2, and they're up 2-0 in a game where maybe they should be trailing 2-0. And you can afford to have a chuckle, I guess, when that's the situation.
Whalers felled, and apparently rightly so, according to the replay. They had a power play goal that was nullified by a call of a hand pass by Kerry Fraser. Our replay showed that John Cullen did not glove that puck ahead as Hunter scored, but that's water under the dam right now, or under the bridge, or over the dam, whatever you want to say, as it's Janney who slides it out of the zone.
2-0.
Yeah, there you go. Here's Don Sweeney to poke it in. Cote got tangled up with Lazaro, who went down. And it's Evison giving it to Cote. 3 Bruins are back. Oilers are offside, but the Bruins control. They're allowed to bring it out. And we've got a penalty upcoming to Hartford. Looks like Sear could go here. Boston will get a power play after this local break. You're watching Sports Channel's coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Well, when you're down 2-0 in a game and 3-2 in a series, right here you see at the top of your screen, Frazier's going to call high sticking on Paul Sear as he collided with Cam Neely and got the stick up. But when you're down 2-0 and trail 3-2 in the series in this type of a game, your special teams really got to come through. You got to be flawless in your penalty killing and at least get a goal or 2 on your power play.
Bruins jumped up in the penalty, or I should say the power play rankings with a 4-for-8 performance on Thursday night. As in the series now, Boston is 10 of 33, over 30% efficiency, second among the playoff participants. Petri Striko has 2 of those power play goals. He's checked by Zadafsky, and Cam Neely plays it back to Raymond Bourque, who has 7 of his 8 points on the power play in the series. Zadafsky around to Terrier. Out he comes with Krieger. A speedy duo on for the Whalers. Krieger fires, and it's wide of Moog. In front, it's put off Wesley. Moog had to stop it. He was looking to direct some traffic as Wesley backed in, and the rebound hit him. Came right back to the goaltender. Here's Wesley at the other end. Across to Neely. Now Bourque firing. Tipped a save by Sidorkovich. His stick went out over Janney's on that attempt. Here's Bourque shooting, and it's tipped wide by Janney. Poked in front by Ladouceur to Cote. He'll wrist it off the glass and down the ice. 53 seconds left of the penalty.
The save by Moog was his best save of the game as that puck rebounded off of Glenn Wesley. That was a dangerous situation for the Bruins.
Poulin sends it in behind the net. Christian over for it. Checked by Cote. Ladouceur reaches for it. He runs over Dave Poulin. Tom Lack plays it ahead to Dean Evison. Evison reaches back for it. Tom Lack continues on. And a turn on Bourque. Forced to the boards by Bourque. Tom Lack keeps working in that attacking zone. Huda with a wrist shot. It's gloved by Moog. 10 seconds to go on the penalty. Evison ran over Moog, and Dean Evison will go to the box as Kerry Fraser halts play. And with 6 seconds to go on the Sear call for high sticking, Evison will get a penalty here at 12:34.
It's going to be interference. Andy Moog, when Evison hit him, did go down to the ice. We'll take a look at it here as Moog plays the puck. He's backing back into the crease. You have to avoid the goaltender, make an attempt to avoid him. Obviously, Evison did. I didn't see too many of the Bruins going to the rescue of Andy Moog. As you can see, the 2 best Whaler penalty killers are in the box. 6 seconds left in the penalty to Sear. I'm sure he was yelling over to see if he should stay on or not.
So the Whalers have got to be frustrated, and it's showing a little bit on a couple of penalties they just as soon not have taken. Down 2-0, although they have outshot the Bruins 8-3 and have had some glorious chances.
Yeah, and their the last time, well, I guess the rebound off Wesley. You know, Moog, they don't count that as a shot on goal. If they counted saves, it'd be a save, but it's not a shot on goal. Right? Just think if you had 40 of those and nothing else, you wouldn't get credit for any saves.
The Bruins with back-to-back power play chances. Sear set to come out. He does. It's now a 5-on-4 skater advantage. Galley goes down. Checked by Cote. Galley gloved it along to Cam Neely. No question about this one. Kerry Fraser brings the face-off outside to center, and we once again welcome our viewers from TSN, the Sports Network.
No question about this one, but it didn't mean much. The other call that Fraser missed meant a lot. It took a goal away from the Hartford Whalers.
2-0 Boston here in the first period with 7:15 remaining in it. Hartford has outshot the Bruins 8-3, but the Bruins have 2 goals scored by Mark Wart and Bob Sweeney. We look at some subdued Whaler fans as the Whalers now shorthanded for 1:49. The time left on the interference penalty to Dean Evison. Rick Peckham and Jerry Cheevers with you tonight for Game 6 of this hotly contested series with Boston leading 3-2.
What's happening here, Rick, is the Bruins have 2 guys at their bench. You'll only see 4 guys in the formation out there, but they wouldn't allow Bork on, so Galley's standing right at the bench. As soon as the puck is dropped, Bork will jump on and Galley will leave the ice.
That is what happens as Bork gets the pass, gives it to Wesley. Whalers with Sear and Tom Lack in front of Cote and Ladouceur, trying to keep the Bruins off the board further. Ruzicka tips it by Sear. Ladouceur gets to it, sends it up the boards. Bork gathers it in for Craig Janney. Leaves it. Ruzicka out to Wesley. Pushes it in front. Tipped on goal by Neely. A save by Sidorkovich. It's worked away but not out. Wesley to Janney. Bork back to Craig Janney. Into Ruzicka. Goal mouth to Neely. A sprawling Ladouceur blocked it. Cote quickly gets rid of it. And the Bruins are forced back with 1:05 remaining on their power play.
Certainly a break for the Whalers. They could have been behind by 3, Rick. Cam Neely all alone. A missed assignment by one of the Whaler defensemen. On defense in front of the net at all times.
Neely and Skriko head for the corner, but the Whalers come up with it. Huda sends it off the glass support. It hit off Krieger to Terry Yake. Yake cuts in, trying to dance around Bork, and Moog covers the puck as Krieger charged after him. And we get a whistle with 42 seconds remaining on the Evison penalty, and Moog's trying to shake the snow out of that mask.
Go back and see a better, one of the better Whaler chances. This happened the last time they were a man short. Krieger will just put it off the right side. Now watch Wesley come into your picture right at the right of your screen, right off his heel. Now move. Boy, he reacts and makes a terrific pad save. That was a dangerous chance for the Whalers. The Whalers have had a goal called back. Nothing you can do about that. You know, you can't sulk or do things different. It's just one of the bad breaks you get.
Richards fires. It's blocked by Christian. Whalers have a shorthanded goal in this series. That was scored by Terry Yake, but it didn't mean much at the time. It was a 6-2 Boston lead here in Game 3. He scored to make it 6-3, and that's the way the game ended. Huda backcourt, drives it up the boards by Deneen and down the ice. Evison is scheduled to leave the box in 15 seconds unless the Bruins bring him out prematurely. That's what Bork has in mind as he feeds it to Skriko. Zalapski catches up to him. It's driven away by Sear. Bork right at the point, walks in, fires, and he sails that one wide. Sidorkovich apparently didn't see it. As Evison returns, the Whalers are back to full strength, down 2-0. Evison steals the pass. Trying to shovel it ahead to the breaking Deneen. Kevin cuts in there, lost the handle of Christian. 5:10 left in the first period. 2-0 Boston in front is Zarley Zalapski. 4 points in the series. Sends it ahead to Hunter. Dean Evison. Back to Hunter. Play is offside. And even 5 minutes left of the clock in period 1 as Boston has control at this point.
John McClain's shot hits off goalie Frank Pietrangelo. It's in the net. New Jersey leads it 1-0 in the first. Let's go back to the Civic Center.
Well, the Whalers have survived 2-man short situations while trailing 2-0, and they're going to have to be perfect in killing penalties tonight. They hope to win this hockey game.
John Cullen, who was 2 for 2 in shooting going into the last game, then was shut off by Andy Moog on 5 shots. John felt he could have had at least 3 goals with the quality chances he had, particularly in that first period. Here's Zalapski firing toward the net, kicked out by Moog. Mark Hunter belted by Bob Sweeney, and he'll get a call. Hunter is down, he's injured. Play continues as the pass is centered. Hodge controls, and eye sticking indicated by Kerry Fraser. He's checking Mark Hunter. And we'll have the verdict on Bob Sweeney's call when we come back with the Bruins in front.
We get a big break here as Bob Sweeney 20 will come in and get the stick up right here And he'll cut Mark Hunter above the right eye, and he'll get a 5-minute high-sticking major, automatic ejection. And the Bruins lose a pretty decent hockey player for the rest of this hockey game, and no question about this. And this next 5 minutes will go a long way in deciding this hockey game.
Mark Hunter has gone off for some quick repairs, and you better believe he'll be back here just as soon as he can. Oilers have Cullen, Verbeek, and Brown up front. Shaw and Zalapsky at the point. Christian, Bork, Wesley, and Poulin will force him on for the Bruins.
Dave Christian will be taking the draw, normally a winger.
Brown controls. Shaw has room. He fires. Saved by Moog. Plays it to Poulin. Quickly the Bruins clear it.
They got to keep their shots down, Rick. Moog's handling too many shots with his catching mitt, and they're easy to control.
Verbeek hands it to Zalapsky. Slowed down on the hit by Wesley. Bork gets rid of it. Poulin brings it out. Good start for the Bruins, short-handed as Poulin fires. It's offside. Lazaro just preceded him into the zone. They'll bring it back to center. There's a story on the Bob Sweeney major. There's no one in the box at this point, but they have to get somebody over there before the penalty ends.
Well, the period will end before the major, Rick, so they'll do that at the start of the second.
I guess they will, yeah.
But a few times it's happened where they do not put a man in, and the play continues without the 5-minute or 2-minute, whatever it is, all of a sudden becomes a lot longer sometimes if the play doesn't stop.
Yeah, we've seen that happen a couple of times.
And we've seen a couple of goals result. That's not a power play goal, is it?
It is. We've got the man advantage. Here's Richards continuing on. Brings it in. Shoots. Saved by Moog. Knocks it down. It's sent out to Brown. Gives it to Zalapsky. Cullen. Back to Zalapsky firing. It's wide. Richards in behind the net to Cullen. Zalapsky. They got Brown parked in front. Quick shot by Richards. Brown shoots. Saved by Moog. Down goes Brown. Verbeek battles his way to the end boards. Cullen has it. Zalapsky has trouble hanging on. As the Bruins move it ahead, it's out of Poulin's reach, and Richards is back. Both teams make some changes. 3:11 to go in the period as Zalapsky brings it in. Lets it roll to Verbeek. Zalapsky gets it back into Dean Evison. He's checked by Galley. Marquardt trying to slap it out. He does. Christian had a step on Shaw. Shoulder to the ice by Cote as Shaw takes over. Evison brings it in. Cote. Denise. Misfires. They decide to Don Sweeney. He turned it over to Evison. 2:40 left in the period as Shaw looks. Rips it toward the net. It's tipped wide. Cote down the boards. Deneen circles in front. Two teammates in front of Moog. Goes to Cote. Wrist shot saved by Moog. He knocks it down. Sear plays it to Deneen. Out to Shaw. Fires, and it's off the leg of Marquardt. Bounces to Evison. Gives it to Deneen. Shooting. Saved by Moog. It dribbled behind him and wide. Shaw into Evison. Let it go to Sear. Diving to try to play it in front. The pass was blocked by Galley. And the Bruins move it out. Deneen gives it to Brad Shaw. Both teams want to get tired units off and fresh legs on. Shaw, great play to Brown. Shooting a save by Moog as Poulin slowed down the shot as he got a stick in there. And it's sent down the ice. 1:45 to go in the period. Zalapsky cuts away from a couple of Bruins. Keeps going. Feeds it into Cullen. Fires in front, broken up. And it hopped over Cullen's stick. This penalty will overlap by about 28 seconds to the start of the second period as Lazaro tips it out.
Now the Bruins are 3/5 of the way home.
Verbeek's onside, trying to play it to Cullen. He couldn't reach it. Verbeek pokes it into Brown. Taken over by Bork. Brings it down the ice with 1:07 to go in the period. Oilers get Krieger on. John Cullen going to step away from Lazaro. Cullen cuts into that zone, and the play is offside. 53 seconds to go in the period.
Now, if the Whalers lead this period, trailing by 2, there'll have to be a lot of work done in the restroom from the coaches, but more or less, Rick, from the players themselves to get themselves up and say, listen, we haven't had a bad period at all. We've had most of the play. We've had some bad breaks. We've had some good breaks we couldn't take advantage of, but hey, it's not going to do any good brooding in here. Let's get it together and give it the college try again. Rob Brown tries to deflect this thing really off a shot by Brad Shaw. Andy Moog, certainly a big period.
Richards cruises in. Burge stripped to the puck. Cullen fires it across. Couldn't get it through. 3 Bruins, though, as Christian plays it down the ice. 35 seconds remaining here in the first period. Richards' pass ends up behind the net. Krieger speeds in there, taps it up the boards, but it's Christian who gets there. Couldn't get it by Zanapski. 20 seconds left as you see the time remaining in the period. Christian chips it out through center. And the Whalers will have to fight off that frustration. They'll go to the dressing room having the man advantage for 6.5 minutes in this period as Poulin leaped to belt Zanapski. The play still stays in the zone, but time will run out here in this period. Still 27 seconds remaining on the high-sticking major to Bob Sweeney, but Andy Moog and the Bruins are in control at the end of 1-2-0. Let's join C.J. Papa at the Sports Channel studio. Whalers have 25 seconds of power play time to begin this second period. As they trail 2-0, Bob Sweeney received a major for high-sticking in the game misconduct. Strico is serving the remaining power play time as the whistle blows. And looks like we've got a penalty upcoming to Mark Hunter.
Well, with 14 seconds left in the major of Bob Sweeney, watch 26 Mark Hunter. He'll nail Glenn Wesley. Now, this started right at the face-off as they got into it pretty good, and this is going to be a boarding call. It seemed to me that Wesley only had the one shoulder face pointing towards the board. Strange call. Nevertheless, in 14 seconds, the Whalers will be a man short. But before the puck was even dropped, Wesley and Hunter had the sticks up.
Rick Lee finds his team in quite a hole here. And Strico will be out shortly, and the Bruins will take to the power play for the 3rd time of the hockey game as Randy Ladouceur plays it into the Boston zone. Wesley reaches it ahead of the speedy Terry Yake. Bork goes down, but played it to an open corner to Cam Neely. And that major to Bob Sweeney, served by Strico, is over, and Boston has the 5-on-4 skater advantage with a 2-0 lead early here in the second as Bork drives it in. Sidorkovic got a stick on it, couldn't do much with it. Neely to Janney, playing it back to Strico, out to the point to Bork, taken away by Yake as Krieger reached back for it, and now Neely steps into the zone. Petri Strico back to Wesley. Neely parked in front. Janney back to Wesley, shooting, and he drifts one wide. Bork backhands it behind the net. Ladouceur double teamed. It's poked away. Yake trying to get to it. Neely with an effort. Back to Bork, shooting a stick save on Sidorkovic, and it comes down to Janney. Strico with Neely waiting, and he shoots it wide. He was alone in front of Sidorkovic. Wesley to Bork. Yake charging out after. Pass stolen by Randy Ladouceur with 50 seconds to go on Hunter's penalty for boarding. Ladouceur takes his time. They'll continue on in deep. Whalers get fresh legs on to try to finish off the penalty. Evison and Sear, a veteran tandem, keep operations going in that Boston zone as Sear backhanded in front. Janney steals. Todd Richards finds the handle. Time running down on this Boston power play chance. Paul Sear winds up and drives it high and wide off the glass. Wesley in a hurry. Evison in pursuit. Hunter set to come out in 10 seconds. Here's Janney wheeling and dealing across that line. Didn't have any help, though, as Evason takes over. He'll wrist it out of the zone. And the Whalers are back to full strength. Still trailing 2-0 early here in the second period. Huda chases it down. Bruins get Christian Poulin and Ruzicka on as Evason plays it in. This is icing, and it comes back through the goal mouth, and icing is waved off. Don Sweeney with a pass by Poulin. Solamsky gives chase. Whalers will have to play it, and they do. Solamsky reaches back for it, looks for Verbeek, taken away by Galley. Feeds Ruzicka. Ruzicka gets it once again. Nice play to Christian. He scores! Dave Christian has scored in 4 straight games of the series. He makes it 3-0.
A guy that's really surfaced in this game for the Boston Bruins is Ruzicka. Big number 38. I'll tell you, a couple mix-up by the Whalers. One right here as Solamsky turned the wrong way. It seemed they had it out. Now, big Ruzicka is going to see Christian and makes a beautiful little pass. And Christian, who is so good at getting rid of the puck quickly, gets his 4th goal of the playoffs, and he's been a big playoff performer for the Bruins, not only in this series, but in the Bruin-Whalers series last season. Boy, a lot of mix-ups there. You can see that the Whalers were really uptight in their end in that last play. 3 or 4 of them. Guys going to the wrong men. Well, you saw that on the Bruin power play, too. It was the second time in tonight's game that they've left Neely all alone. I mean, they're just running around.
Galley also assists on the goal to make it 3-0. Goal at 2:44. Christian's 4th from Ruzicka and Galley. Bobby Holik is belted by Mark Bart. They push and shove in the battle of the puck. Rob Brown comes up with it. Going to fight off a check. Got it in front. And the Bruins had everybody well occupied as Galley brings it out. He wants to go for a change and does so as Weaver comes out with Wesley, Nolan, Burridge, and High. Huda down the boards. Moog tees it up. Jim Weaver ahead for Nolan. Whalers get Tomlak, Yake, and Krieger on. Shaw paired with Solamsky at the blue line as Tomlak ahead to Yake. Had it poked away, and Burridge controls it. Steps around a pick, and out he comes. Bruins have been outshot 15-8 in this hockey game, but they have a 3-0 lead with 4 minutes gone in period 2. Shaw steps in, and it's poked away. Hodge lifts it out behind Burridge. The puck slowly comes back to Sidorkiewicz. He'll leave it for Zalapsky. Out for Todd Krieger. Gets a step on Burridge. He'll take on Alan Peterson. Stops. Makes the pass, and Tomlak skates, and back comes Hodge. Hodge to Burridge. He shoots. He hits the post. Hit the outside of the goal post. Hodge plays it back to Burridge in front to Nolan, hooking it across to Bork. Zalapsky read that. Ahead for Shaw. Hands it to Yake. Dumps it in. Whalers want to get Sear, Evason, and Dineen over the boards. Bork to Peterson. Got rid of it by Dineen. Lazaro lined up on the hit by Sidenko. Sidorkiewicz out to play. Janney's waiting. Dishes it in front. Lazaro couldn't make the connection. Drops it back to Don Sweeney. Chopped away by Dineen and into the Boston bench. Gordy Clark with a catch. Let's pause for a local break. You're watching Sports Channel's coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs. The family of Budweiser beers is proud of all the friendships they've helped make. So when they remind you to know when to say when, it's all in the name of friendship.
You know, the Whalers have had a problem solving Andy Moog in the last 3.5 periods or so. And if they can't do that as a group, they certainly won't be able to do it individually, so they have to guard against that. You tend to try and do it all yourself in this situation. You have to try and get out of this as a team.
As we've seen a couple of times in this series, as Janney's centering pass ends up with Dineen. Things can explode in the Whalers' faces very quickly as the Bruins are ready to hop on that type of situation. Dineen gets the better of a collision with Cam Neely as Ladouceur has the puck, gives it to Dineen. And now Lazaro hurdles himself into Evason. It's Lazaro who's shaken up as we now get a whistle as the Bruins control. Don Sweeney comes across with a stick on Sear, and Lazaro is flexing his right leg.
We better get a trainer out there. He seems to be in an awful lot of pain. Let's watch as he and well, I don't know if he's going to fall in it. Oh, I see. It's the way he landed, because it wasn't the knee that collided with Dean Evason. Oh, you know, down at the other end, just before that, Kevin Dineen made a big hit on Cam Neely, and Neely went down. You know, usually you bounce off Neely. Neely stays up, and you go the other way. But in this series, Cam Neely has been down to the ice more than I've ever seen him. I mean, he is his balance isn't what it has been in this series.
14:16 remaining in the second period. Boston has a 3-0 lead here in Game 6. Lazaro's been helped off, and now he takes a shot of the fan, sitting right near the alleyway.
Probably a Bruin fan. Things look bleak here for the Whalers. They trail by 3, but there is a lot of time left. The Whalers really haven't caught many breaks in this series, and that's not a sour great statement. It's a fact. They've had a lot of things go against them. And one thing about it, they won't get breaks if they stop. They got to keep going at it.
Gary Galley up the boards to Christian, tips it out to Strico. Hood is back. Strico going wide. Hood caught up to him. Strico doing a good job along those boards, trying to get things organized for the Bruins. Strico draws the attention of both defensemen. The pass is right. Poulin shoots a stick save by Sidorkovic. Galley takes it out at center, brings it in offside. The Bruins have had the only 3 shots of this second period. They've added to a 2-0 first period lead in the goal by Christian.
It seems the Bruins have had a lot of chances during this series, right from, you see at the top of your screen, Dave Poulin. They seem to be out far enough where the defenseman, or in this case the centerman, can't get there. A couple of goals by Christian. That's a pretty good thing there, because tough to cover out that far, especially when you've got a little success controlling the boards in there.
I guess you're far enough out that the defense can kind of forget about you. Maybe it's a kind of a gray area, a seam more or less, where the defense and the forwards are wondering whose man is it? What area is this?
But it really all depends on your success in controlling the boards back there. You draw the centerman or maybe the extra second defenseman to you.
Hodge, checked by Cullen. Now this unit figures to see a lot of ice time for the Hartford Whalers as Verbeek is out with Cullen and McKenzie as the Whalers are down 3 with 13:17 to go in the second period of a game they have to win. Huda. Verbeek had it lifted away by Weimer. Got a pretty good reach at 6'4". John Cullen, bothered by Burridge. Todd Richards has turned back. The 24-year-old defenseman gives it now to Verbeek, lifting it to Cullen, across to McKenzie, and to reach back for it. Now to Zalapsky, shooting, intercepted right in front of the net by Wesley. Verbeek gets it back. Into Cullen, it's off the heel of his stick, chased down by Weimer, shovels it out by Hodge. Shaw tries to force the Bruins back in once again. Whalers change up. Dineen, Evason, and Sear are on. Weimer softly plays it to the corner. Janney comes out with Neely and Marquardt. Zalapsky's pass hit Janney, controlled though by Shaw. Charlie Zalapsky for Evason. And a cutaway from Cam Neely. Bork controls it. Out to Neely, knocked down by Zalapsky. And it's Sear. He has to wait for Evason, who's waltzing with Bork in deep of the Boston zone to get back on side. It's Peterson. The pass tipped by Marquardt. He's almost knocked into his own bench by Dean Evison. And Marquardt answers back with a hit. Pass through center, and it's chased down by Bork. An errant pass carries the length. The race is on for the touch, and Koke gets there with a little help from his partner, Zanavsky. 11:31 to go in the second. 3-0 Boston. Let's pause for a regional break. You're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs on Sports Channels.
Veteran Dave Poulin waiting for the draw at his end. You know, they don't have Bob Sweeney. He's the man that usually takes the draw to the right of Andy Moog.
Malik reaches it. And a turn away from Don Sweeney, who pokes it down the ice. Todd Richards back for it. Richards with an excellent season in Springfield before his recall in the final weekend of the regular season. And he's played pretty well in this series. Play is whistled down on a two-line pass.
He's a pretty cool customer, Todd Richards. He's played pretty well here, as you said, under the pressure of the Stanley Cup play.
There's more exclusive Stanley Cup action heading your way tomorrow on Sports Channel when it's Game 6 of the Norris Division semifinals between the Blackhawks and the Minnesota North Stars. Live at 8 p.m. Immediately followed by the LA Kings and the Vancouver Canucks as they battle it out in Game 6 of the Smythe Division semifinal series. Join in progress at 11 p.m. only on Sports Channel. Could be an upset tomorrow. Here's Richards by the stick of McKenzie. Sweeney's back, and it's icing against Hartford.
Could be two upsets, actually three upsets if you want to call the Calgary-Edmonton an upset. I don't call that one an upset, though. Well, it is.
And Edmonton right around 500 in the regular season, but you knew they were going to have one heck of a series against the Calgary Flames, and they're holding the edge right now, 3-2. Kings moved in front in their series last night, and the Minnesota North Stars winning at Chicago Stadium.
6-0.
6-0. And the Blues are trying to hang in there to avoid being upset by the Red Wings.
Three of the underdogs will be at home tomorrow trying to wrap it up. They'll be great hockey games. Chicago looks a little drained to me. I think they have the toughest chore tomorrow evening.
Minnesota finished the regular season as one of the hottest, if not the hottest team on home ice. They were really going like blazers, and they got a veteran team.
Oh, yeah.
Which you would think in a crucial game like that would come into effect in the North Stars' favor, but the Hawks are a very talented crew. Here's Pat Verbeek trying to help the Whalers get on the board as Poulin's belted by Hunter. Puck got away to Christian. Out comes Galley. Ruzicka with him. Vladimir Ruzicka with a couple of assists to aid the Boston cause, and he has looked sharp. He started to play in this series in Game 2 as he came back from an ankle injury. Play kept in by Shaw. Pass in front, knocked down, played away by Hodge, and out for Christian. Christian on the move. Leaving it for Skriko. Turns on the backhand. Hodge alone. Saved by Sidorkovich. He covers it up with a whistle. 10:03 to go in the second period, and Boston is in control. 3-0.
After playing their first scoreless period in the entire series, in the second, Brent Gilchrist beats Clint Malarchuk. He makes it 1-0 Montreal in the second. Let's go back to the Civic Center.
The Bruins come close to making it 4-0. Skriko will find Kenny Hodge. Kenny Hodge got a little handcuffed by that pass. He was in a little too close. Peter Sidorkovich with the mid-save. Every save by Sidorkovich from here on in has got to be major. The Whalers cannot afford any more against.
Bruins cleanly win the draw. Wesley's pass lifted away by Richards. He keeps it out of Nyland's reach. Tom Lack into Krieger in the off wing. Had trouble getting it in front against Glenn Wesley. Hogg drives it wide of Sidorkiewicz. Burridge and Tomlak collide. Tomlak goes over the top as Yates backhands it to the point. Knocked down by Burridge. Legally by the Whalers' control. Here's Yates speeding through. Weaver played the man. Wesley on the attack. Four-man Bruin attack. Chris Dolan kind of stepping around Todd Krieger. Krieger slowed him up. Richards with a nice turn. Ran into trouble. It's tapped in front of Tomlak. Gets it back for Hartford. Ahead for Yates. Yates backhands it in. Whalers change up. Sear in forechecking. Neely tips it out of the zone. Cote back. Sears pass hit Janney in the ankle. Dineen with speed. Cruises in. Steps around Bork from the angle. Shoots a glove save by Andy Moog. He'll hang on. 3-0 Boston. Let's pause for a local break. You're watching Sports Channel's coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
After 11 minutes and 9 seconds, the Whalers finally get a shot, and Andy Moog, as Kevin Dineen will come off the wrong wing and let a bullet go, and Moog gets this about a foot high with his catcher. Boy, look at that angle. It doesn't look like Andy Moog had the angle there, and Dineen being a right-handed shot and all. I'm sure Andy Moog knows what he's doing. He's proven that pretty well in this playoffs.
Bruins bringing out 3-on-2. Bork to Marquardt, who got the game-opening goal for Boston. Kicks it to Cam Neely. Neely looks for Janney, shooting, and he cranks it wide as Janney just cruised right down that slot area. Neely picks it up. Chased by Ladouceur. It's backhanded for Janney. Fires in front. Marquardt was well covered by Cote. Dineen sprints out with Sear. Alan Peterson got to Dineen early with a poke check. Ladouceur backhands it out to center. Dineen lets it go, and Bork takes it. Pass ends up on the red line. Ladouceur slapped it off Janney's stick. Now Evison is Dineen charging up the boards, and Bork broke that up. Kevin Dineen still having trouble with Bork. Janney controls it. Walks in, fakes the shot. Grabbed and jumped by Cote. Two Bruins are caught back near Sidorkiewicz as Verbeek, though, lost the puck to Galley, tripped up Galley. Galley has the puck once again. Craig Janney backhands it in. Zalewski on the move. Bruins on a line change. Pass ahead to Pat Verbeek. He hits Cullen cutting through. He overskates it. Poulin lifts it back inside the Hartford blue line.
This has not been a good period for the Whalers. They're all over the joint. It's helter-skelter out there.
And now they will be whistled for icing as Galley is back. 7:14 left in the second period, which you see the Bruins add to their lead. They're now in front 3-0. Received word that Jeff Lazaro suffered a hyperextended right knee. However, he is expected back. Good news for the Bruins. They have lost Bob Sweeney for the rest of tonight's game. He picked up a high-sticking major for clubbing Mark Hunter in the first period. A game misconduct as well. Here's Krieger, shut off by Galley. Krieger pokes it into Terry Yates. Back up the board. Zalewski from the angle shoots. It's tipped by Krieger behind the net. Yates gets it back to Shaw. Into Krieger. He's got Brown in front. Can't find him, though. He was run over by Galley. Krieger is down and shaken up, and as the Whalers control, Fraser halts play. Krieger struggling to get to his skates, and he's going to wait for trainer Bud Govea to come out and help him.
I can only think that he might have got this right between the pants and the top of the shoulder pads, right in a unprotected spot. Obviously, if he's in pain. Let's see where if it is a stick or maybe it's a leg. Then I don't know. It didn't look like that. The stick was involved there.
Krieger, who came into the Whalers camp a couple of years ago. Talk about your long shots. But thanks to his great speed, made the club. Scored 18 goals this year. Didn't quite find the same success around the net. Looks like he's all right, and he will go to the bench. Or will he stay out there? Let's see. He's got to go to the bench with a stoppage in play. So
Rick Lee is immediately going to put on the Cullen line with Verbeek and Hunter, and Rick's got to do that as much as possible, trailing by 3. Anytime there's a break and they can go on the ice as a fresh trio, it has to happen. Goals. They need goals. First of all, before the goals, they have to have some shots.
After blitzing Andy Moog in the first period, getting 8 of the first 10 shots on the net, they had the power play for about 6.5 minutes on 2 opportunities. In that first period, they have only 1 shot. And as Jerry mentioned, that came at about the 11-minute mark by Kevin Dineen from a poor angle. That in the second period anyway, and Shaw gives it to Verbeek. And a step around Don Sweeney does. Fires in front. Plenty of Bruins there, but they leave it up to Moog to cover it. Hunter and Nyland get the sticks up. Now Galley is, or is it, it is Gary Galley arguing with Fraser. He felt that Cullen should have been given a call.
John Cullen getting a little antsy right about now. Something's got to happen to turn this around for the Whalers. Yeah, nailed pretty good right in front of Fraser. No wonder John Cullen's got his dandruff up. He turns and looks at Fraser. I mean, the call was made in Wesley. John Cullen's not going to take this sitting down. John Cullen is a feisty, fierce competitor.
He's had a few Bruins concerned in this series with his tricky puck handling style. Lazaro is now skating to the Boston bench. The face-off in the other zone, and Bruin fans here in the building react to that. There's Jeff.
That's one of the quickest recoveries from a hyper-extended knee injury I've ever seen.
Huda has room, fires, tip. Moog handles it as it left Huda's stick. It connected with Christian's stick on the way, but it just served to slow down the shot and aid Andy Moog's view of it. He didn't have any trouble with it.
You know, watching Glenn Wesley leave the ice in favor of Alan Peterson, I never thought I'd say this, but the best Bruin defenseman in this series has been Glenn Wesley, not Raymond Bourque. Raymond Bourque's coming, and he's playing great defense, Raymond Bourque, but I really think one of the big keys in the Bruins being ahead in the series and in this game.
Huda's shot is tipped by Brown, a save by Moog. It's worked away to Skriko. 3-man rush for the Bruins. Skriko snaps one off a pants save by Sidorkovich, and we get a stoppage at the other end with 5:57 to go in the second period. The Bruins lead on goals by Marquardt, Bob Sweeney, and Christian.
At the Cap Center, the Capitals answer the Rangers' goal in the second with one of their own. Steve Leach will beat his own teammate Dale Hunter to the puck. Leach puts it in. It's 4-1 Rangers in the second. At the Meadowlands, Pittsburgh, its 4th unanswered goal. Ron Francis, his second at 6:42 of the second period. Pittsburgh leads it 4-1 in the second.
Well, the Whalers come about as close as they've come in an awful long time in that last shift, resulting from the face-off. Let's see if Rob Brown in front deflects it. No, he doesn't, but Raymond Bourque, and we were just in the middle of saying how good Raymond Bourque has been defensively. The thing about Raymond Bourque, if he has a tough night offense or he hasn't played up to his level, he makes sure he does defensively. He's a solid defenseman.
As you would certainly know, having coached him for several years.
And played with him.
And that's right. Your last year as a player was his first, right?
Yep.
Golden threw it in front. It's taken away by Yake. Has to speed by Christian. A couple of pretty good skaters there. Peterson up the boards. Huda knocks it down. Lays it back around for Terry Yake. Malik forces Poulin to the boards. It's poked along to Christian. Bourque, now to Poulin stepping in, dropping it for Bourque. to Christian shooting. He one-times it over the net. He had an open shot from 45 feet.
They've had about 4 of those this period. Janney missed one about 5 minutes ago.
Brown had to take it away. Driven in by Galley. Who to head for the corner with Ruzicka. The pass hit Nyland's skate boot, carrying right to Richards. Ruzicka goes in after it, finds Hodge. It hopped off the blade of his stick. Fine play again by Ruzicka. Holik stops. Checked by Galley. Holik plays it in behind to Brown, trying to tip it in front. He does. It bounced off Holik's stick, and now it's Hodge's turn to turn things around. 4.5 to go. Second period. 3-0 Boston. Nyland cruises in, snaps it off. It's off a skate, covered by Sidorkiewicz as it deflected off Ladouceur's skate and right to the netminder.
A tough spot for a goaltender to be in, trailing 3-0. You know you can't afford to make a mistake. You got to just hang in there. And it's really tougher when your team is really controlling down the other ends, getting stoned by the other goaltender. Well, that wasn't the case this period, but not fun being a goaltender. Sometimes it is, though, when you win and you're playing as good as this guy.
Wow. He is trying to make it 7 straight periods in which he's allowed only 1 goal. He shut out the Whalers for the last 2 periods of Game 4. 1 goal in 3 periods Thursday night in Game 5. And he's nearing the end of the 7th period in that stretch. Leading 3-0. Lead pass for Galley. Too far for him to get to. Cote's back. Pass ahead for Kevin Dineen. Neely knocked off balance on a Sear pick as Dineen brought it up and shot it in. Evison to Cote, shooting a pass save by Moog. Neely after it. He's belted by Dineen. It's lifted out to Marquardt. And the former Bruin first-rounder plays it to the corner. Sidorkiewicz off the glass, support to Cote. He steps away from Craig Janney with a pass to Evison. He was belted by Marquardt, who caught him from the blind side. It's Solamsky losing the handle. Paul Sear shoots toward the net. Bork blocked it. Solamsky shoots again. Again blocked by Raymond Bork. 4-man Boston rush. 2 Whalers back. Neely into Janney, and Neely dropped it too soon. The play is offside. Raymond Bork sturdy in front of Andy Moog on a couple of occasions at the other end. 3-time Norris Trophy winner. We welcome our Hockey Night in Canada audience to the action here at the Hartford Civic Center Coliseum. 3-0 Boston, and Moog is tested on this occasion.
Moog's going to go down a little early here, but he's going to get it with his right leg. It seemed for a minute that it might have hit the bare leg and not the pad because he got up a little gingerly. But he seems to be well in control. 2 career shutouts.
Last year. We have 3:10 to go. Second period, Boston leading 3-0. They had a 2-0 lead in the first period, and goals by Marquardt and Bob Sweeney. Dave Christian has added a goal early in the second period. Christian grabbed off the puck by Richards. Couple of Minnesota natives going at it there as Wesley reaches for it and finds it. Wesley steps into that zone. It's tapped toward the net. Handled by Sidorkiewicz for Shaw. Pursued by Christian. Verbeek drives it in. For those viewers just joining us, Whalers outshot Boston 15-6 in the first period, but trailed 2-0. And the shots here in the second period, 6 for the Bruins and 4 for Hartford. Skriko backhands it in. Peter Sidorkiewicz taps it to Randy Ladouceur. Ladouceur's pass over Holik's stick. Don Sweeney back, and it's icing against Hartford. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Hartford Whalers and the National Hockey League and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Hartford Whalers, the NHL, and Sports Channel is prohibited. Announcers in this broadcast are selected by Sports Channel and approved by the Hartford Whalers. Once again, we welcome our audience from Hockey Night in Canada, Mike Milbury and the Bruins. In control at this point, 3-0 with 2:04 to go in the second period. Ken Hodge will be opposed by Terry Yake on this draw. When the third period gets underway, we'll have Doug Huda and Nevin Marquardt in the penalty box. They received matching minors for high sticking as the period ended. So the Whalers need a miracle here in this third period to pull this one out and stay alive and force a seventh game, which, if it does take place, would be Monday night at Boston Garden. If not, the Bruins will have a little chance to rest some weary skaters.
Well, this is a very important period for the Bruins, Rick, because of what you just mentioned. They've had a lot of guys that logged a lot of ice time in this series. Certainly Borkin, Wesley, Poulin up front. Neely. I feel Neely plays better after a 3 or 4 day rest. But it's not over yet. There's 20 minutes left to play, and what I really believe has to happen with the Whalers, I mean, obviously they have to create more scoring opportunities than in the second period. The Bruins are playing at a high right now, and that second period was the best checking period the Bruins had in the whole series. They had a great offensive third period in Game 5, a good period in Game 2, a good third period in Game 2, and some good offense in Game 3. But they didn't have their best checking period was that last period. I believe the Whalers defense got to rush up with the play more and maybe take a chance at pinching in, you know, if their third forward's up high. Take a shot to create some opportunities that way.
Well, the ice time, at least on the Bruins' part, certainly reflects what you were talking about, Jerry. Dave Poulin logged 16 minutes in the first 2 periods. Well, Wesley played 18 minutes, Bork 19 minutes and 15 seconds. Nearly half of the time of the first 2 periods. Arlie Zalapski with a pass ahead to John Cullen. Cullen shoots it in. Logue lets it go. Kevin Dineen gets to it. Bork steps in front of Pat Verbeek to steal. Skriko fires it out to Christian. Poulin joins Dave Christian. They're a pretty good 1-2 punch, and Christian shoots and a save by Sidorkovich. He got his glove hand on it. Shaw plays it ahead to Cullen. Cullen maneuvers in, drops it. Here's Zalapski having to reach for that pass. Back to Cullen. Rolled it in front. Moog covers it as John couldn't get good wood on the pass with Christian on him. He taps the glass in frustration with his stick.
A little adjustment for the Hartford Whalers this period. Kevin Dineen has gone on right wing instead of Mark Hunter. I think a cannon just went off in this building. One thing the Whalers can't do this period, you know, Janney and Neely and whoever on the left wing. I mean, you got to try and get goals. You can't spend 7 or 8 minutes of the period worrying about checking them. You have to score goals. When I walked in this building tonight, and there's some Bruins fans there, and they're very vulgar and loud and everything like that, but they're not really the true Bruin fans. They're yelling at me and saying awful things, and I can take that. It doesn't bother me a bit because I know where it comes from. But they're really not true Bruin fans. True Bruin fans are good hockey fans.
Well, that's the element of the crowd that you hear about, though.
That's right.
Brown plays it into Bobby Holik. And a muscle in front of the backhand. It's stopped by Andy Moog. Richards trying to turn away from Nyland. And Nyland has the puck. Checked by Rob Brown. Nyland dumped by Brown as Richards plays it ahead to Terry Yake. Plenty of Bruins on hand to strip him of the puck. It's icing against Boston. And Richards back for it. 3-0 Bruins early here in the third period. Let's pause for a local break. You're watching Sports Channel's coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
3-0 Bruins, 18:25 left in this hockey game and possibly the series. But the next goal will be interesting. If the Bruins get it, history. If the Whalers get it, will be an interesting finish.
Richards gets to it. His shot hit Bobby Holik. It bounces to Randy Burridge. He'll push it off the boards. Richards back for it. It hit Ron Hasseltine's back as Nyland played it in offside, but the Whalers control. Yake fires it to Richards, and it deflects in deep of the Boston zone. Alan Peterson, in his first action of the series, just in Game 5. Yake has it. Lost the handle. Hodge goes down. Cote brought it back in offside as Brown centered in front. Big Shane Heyer on the call.
Terry Yake has played very well for the Whalers since his recall. That was his second recall of the year, but Terry's got to get a little selfish out there. You know, he has the puck at some great spots at times. He's always looking to pass. Well, here's the offside. Wow, that was with the microscope. That was a microscopic offside. But Terry Yake has played very well for the Whalers, Rick. He's got to get a little selfish in the hash mark areas around the top of the circles. He's always looking to pass, and it's really tough to improve that position.
Ladouceur drives it in. Wesley over for it. It bounced off his stick as it's kicked by Hunter behind the net. Moved up for Neely. And it turned back for it. Hunter touches it. Sears still in the zone. Offside is the call as we look at the 10-year man. 28 years of age, Mark Hunter. He's got plenty of hockey left in him, though he has been battling injuries, shoulder injuries, knee injuries throughout his career.
Yeah, he's a hard-nosed player. His alma mater, as we mentioned, is the School of Hard Knocks. He's a tough guy and a great playoff player, good team player. He's going to mean a lot to the Whalers in the next few years.
Lazaro backhands it in. Rickley likes the way Hunter talks to the younger players and works with them on things. Feels that's an important element he hopes to build on next season. Evison drops his stick while blocking the pass. Huda's over for it as he and Marquardt have left the penalty boxes. Cam Neely with 5 goals in the series, 2 in Game 5. Shoots a stick save on the rebound. Weaver couldn't get the stick on it. Hunter got in the way. It's lifted off the back of the goal. Neely trying to get it off the mesh and does. Gives it to Craig Janney. Back to Neely. Still battling Huda. Neely plays it to Lazaro. We're 3 minutes into the third period. Evison got hooked. He's complaining to Fraser as Janney continues with a puck, and Huda plays it up the boards. Paul Sear brings it out.
Terry Fraser has lost his whistle, it seems, at the start of this period. And that certainly will favor the Bruins. It always favors the team that leads when the referee is conservative in his call.
You see the story here at the Hartford Civic Center Coliseum. And the Whalers control it. He gives it to Cote. It slipped away, but he gets it back from Sidorkovich. Rick Peckham and Jerry Cheevers with you here on Sports Channel as it's Yake stepping in. Trying to maneuver around Galley, could not. Nyland over for it. He's belted by Brown. They've had a pretty good war of words going in this series. Yake slows down the pass, but it got away to Burridge. Both players go down. Holik reaches for it, taps it into Rob Brown. Back to Yake, firing it, hit Don Sweeney in the shin pad. As Yake caught all of that one, but it didn't reach the net. Oilers want a line change. Collins' crew trying to get on the ice. Nyland and Holik wrestle. Cote knocked off the puck by Burridge. Don Sweeney lifts it down the ice. And Ladouceur is back, and we'll get an icing called here against Boston.
Now, it seems the Whalers are working hard, but they're really not going anywhere. They're not getting quality shots on Andy Moog, and the Boston Bruins have a lot to do with that because they got their confidence back after a lot of struggle in this playoffs. In the last period, certainly the other night when they scored 6 goals, will do it. But they didn't come out on fire tonight. This man was. He was ready to play and could have been quite easily a 2 or 3 goal Whaler lead. They had a goal called back. That's part of the game, though.
For those who didn't see it, Kerry Fraser ruled that John Cullen made a hand pass that eventually ended up on Mark Hunter's stick, who fired home a shot on a Whaler power play that would have tied the game at 1. Replays show that it didn't look like Cullen made contact with the puck in his attempted hand pass, but that's all behind us now, as Fraser had made the call, and the Whalers fell behind 2-0 before the intermission, 3-0 with an early second period goal by Christian.
Verbeek will take this draw. One thing the Bruins have done in this series, Rick, they've stalled. They used Bork and Wesley a lot in Poulin's lane. They did a great job at slowing it down.
Verbeek throwing it toward the net. Bork played it off the boards. A minute to go in the period as Strico brings it out. Christian held off by Shaw. Krieger back for it. Slides it up the boards. Cullen and Bork tangle for it. It's worked free. Christian trying to play it back. Krieger backhands it across to Verbeek. Maneuvers in against Wesley. The pass to Cullen. Cutting in. He shoots it. It's smothered by Moe. Played away as Cullen just couldn't reach it, or couldn't lift it enough in time. Shaw with a shot knocked down, and Christian plays it ahead to Strico. Poulin's with him. Strico sees him now. Shoots a save by Sidorkovic. 23 seconds to go in the period. Things open up all of a sudden. A chance at either end.
John Cullen just couldn't get the puck up. Seemed that he had Moe beat. What a difference that was. That save with a
Lone save will keep the Whalers off the board at the intermission. The horn sounds now as Marquardt and Huda get sticks up. Janney took a shot right after the horn sounded. The Whalers felt he could have held up.
Huda went right after him. Then Marquardt come in after Huda. That's a close call, but if the player really thinks that another player could have held up, then you got to go question him. There's no doubt about it. But we're going to watch John Cullen right here. You'll see that he just fails to get it up and over Andy Moog. Moog will slide to his left with him. Looks like that Cullen's a big favorite here, but he can't get it up as Moog stretches to make the save.
3-0 Boston at the second intermission. And we'll be back with our intermission activities. We'll check in with C.J. Papa back at the Sports Channel studios in just a moment. We have a sold-out Civic Center tonight. 15,635 are attendance. Let's look back at the scoring summary of the first period. Marquardt opened the scoring for Poulin and Nyland. And then Bob Sweeney, before he exited with a game misconduct and a high-sticking major, made it 2-0. In the second period, Christian scored early. It's his fourth goal of the series. And the shots in the second period favored Boston 7-5. Neither team has found success with a man advantage here. And we're going to look back at those Bruins scoring plays in the first period as Boston took control.
Well, the Bruins work a 3-2 successfully, and we're going to find Nevin Marquardt as the open man. One of the ideas on a 3-on-2 is to find an open man. Nyland drops it back, and Marquardt tees it up and puts it up top over Sidorkovic. How many of those shots have we seen tonight? Marquardt happened to hit the mark. The Bruins have missed on 3 or 4 of those occasions. Bob Sweeney takes a pass here. He's going at top speed. One fake to his forehand, and holds it. It seems that he had painted himself in the corner, but he gets it up. We'll see a play similar to that after the Christian goal. And this made it 2-0 at the end of the first period. And the only goal in the second period was a goal scored by one of the Bruins' better forwards in this series, Dave Christian. But the play was made by Vladimir Vucichka, big number 38, who's getting a chance to play, and this has been his best game. Christian himself will deflect the puck back to Vucichka right here and head to the net, and that's what you're supposed to do, and you have to have confidence that these good centermen will get you the puck. Well, they put it on Christian's stick, and bingo, all of a sudden it's 3-0. And really the only true scoring chance for the Whalers in that period came in the end, and I mentioned there'd be a similar play to the Bob Sweeney goal. You'll see John Cullen take a pass from Patty Verbeek, and he'll hold. But I think what happens here that Cullen will fall just a little off balance here, before he gets it up, or before he tries to get it up, and he just can't get it up as he was off balance. And you know, it's the end of the period, and the ice is rough, and it was a tough play. But it was the best scoring chance the Whalers had in that period.
So the Whalers are going to have to come up with some kind of incredible comeback if they're to stay alive in this series. They're down 3-2, trailing 3-0. Our coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs continues in a moment.
Now, the Whalers were furious at Fraser in that last shift. They felt that Dean Evison, not once but twice, was taken to the ice. And no calls. I guess that's okay if that's the way you let it go.
Skriko has 5 points in this series. Pass in front, a save by Sidorkovich, and Christian's try, and Dineen has it. He'll bring it out. Moog out to handle it. Can't get it by Dineen. Poulin rushed him. Verbeek over there as well. Cullen grabs it. Looks in front. Verbeek shoots, and it's stopped by Moog. He got a leg on it as Cullen circles. Wrists it toward the net. Poulin blocked it. Now Poulin forces the play to neutral territory, and Zalapski gives it to Pat Verbeek. Cullen broken up by Poulin. Poulin steps in, lets it roll down the boards. Bruins change up. Ruzicka out with Nyland. Hodge on the ice as well. As Zalapski across for Dineen. Walks in, trying to tee it up. Now feeds it to Cullen. Cullen trying to stuff it in front. He's run over by Nyland. Nyland works it free, but it's Richards along the boards. Verbeek belted by Bork. The pass into Cullen. Flips it in front. Bork. And it launched in his skates. Now as Verbeek tried to stuff it home. He couldn't. He's belted by Nyland. He tries to center. Nyland drives it out of trouble. And this will be icing against the Boston Bruins.
But we're going to go back to a chance for the Boston Bruins previous to this. And we've seen this play an awful lot in this series. And it's a pass to Christian near the dot or at the top of the circle. They have had maybe 6 or 7 of these opportunities. Christian just throws it right at the goalie in this particular one, but it's amazing when you see 4 Whalers there and how it happens. But the Whalers come back and have plenty of pressure. And one thing I believe the Whalers have done this series, if they've gotten in too close to Andy Moog, and when that happens, you get handcuffed a lot. You're a lot easier to defend. I think what we saw there with Christian is where players should be when you're a good centerman like Cullen or Poulin or Janney or whatever has the puck. You're cover to cover out there.
Yeah, that type of position works if you get that perfect goal mouth pass, but that doesn't happen a lot.
If it's off target just a fraction of an inch or something, you're handcuffed usually.
Jake and Hodge lean in. We get premature movement and a very tall Shane Hire looks down upon the centerman as he'll drop the puck. And Bork reaches in for it. Couple of Whalers on the scene. Yake checked by Hodge. Brown in that corner with Alan Peterson. And they all come together to force another draw. 15:02 left here in the third period. There's Terry Yake. Terry, 22 years of age, his third year pro. 77 points in Springfield at the time of his recall just after the trading deadline. Came up with his first NHL goal at the Cap Center back in March the 12th. And he scored a goal in this series shorthanded. Mike Milbury doesn't have to do a lot of clapping to keep the spirits up on this bench, as the Bruins want to close out this series, and they have a 3-0 lead in the third period. Jake and Hodge once again in the draw, and it's lifted out by Alan Peterson. Huda gets back for it. Pass ahead to Bobby Holik. Faked as if he was going to dump it in. That fooled Yake. Just out of your screen on the lower portion, and we get an offside. Let's pause for a regional break. You're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs on Sports Channel.
Ricky Lee, you know, really feels that the future for Robert Leake is at center. Now, once you reach this area right here, once your decision's made up, you have to stay with it, regardless if it's pass or carrying it by or shooting it in. You see Robert Leake fake to shoot it in. Terry Yake feeling that. Is outside by 5 feet.
Richards fires just wide of Moog. They'll leave it for Bork. Bork does not have a point in this game. His next point in the playoffs will be his 100th career point. And that would leave him only 2 shy of the all-time Bruin playoff scoring leader, Phil Esposito, and would tie him with Rick Middleton and John Busick at 100 points. Here's Everson. The pass to Sears. Waiting in front, couple of Whalers. The pass didn't make it through, though. Burridge gives the puck to Chris Nyland. He'll flip it to the corner. Hodge goes in after it with Big Jim McKenzie. Burridge comes by. Huda wrestles him off the puck. It's left for the taking. Richards says, I've got it. And he was planted into the boards by Neely. Here's Weimer losing the handle. Dumping it in as the Bruins. Well, most of them, Neely not making an effort to get back on side at the moment. Richards brings it up. He sneaks his way through the center ice zone. The pass to Cullen. Batted away by Weimer. Out comes Wesley.
It's funny, when the Bruins don't need Cam Neely or Craig Janney, they're not on the board. When they need them, they're there. That's the way it's happened in this series. The Bruins haven't needed them this game, and they're really not playing a good offensive game. They're playing a great defensive game, and I'm sure that's the priority right now. But
well,
I'm sorry, I was just saying, we always talk about stopping Neely and Janney and Bork. You got a chance to win. We were wrong.
Whalers have done a creditable job of trying to handle Neely.
Well, I think they've done well.
And Janney and Bork.
Neely's only scored 2 periods.
The players of that kind of talent, you're only going to keep them down so long. You can't expect to go through a long series, as the Whalers certainly felt if they're going to be successful, it would have to be a 6 or 7 gamer. And feeling that you're going to have to shut these guys down and get the best of Andy Moog for 7 games, you're going to have your ups and your downs. And any team that faces the Bruins, if they go on from this series, are going to face the same problems. They're a handful. That's that group of top echelon players.
Yeah, you said it. You said it right. You just got to have more ups than you do downs against a good team like the Bruins.
13:10 left in the 3rd period. Whalers hope it's not their last period of hockey this season as they trail 3-0, and in the series 3-2. Pass for Beek, rushed by Poulin. Ladouceur over for. Send it to Sivac Cote. Pass is tipped, and Bork quickly plays it. Rico's going to backhand it in. He's belted by Ladouceur. Cullen couldn't find the handle. Dave Poulin does. The 8-year man melted by Cote as Ladouceur had it poked out of his reach by Sprico. Dorkinich sends it back up the boards. Dineen took care of Wesley, and the puck leaves the zone. Janney to Christian. Cullen circles back. Whalers have 1 shot on the period so far. Boston 2. We've played 7:40. Cullen across to Verbeek. Couldn't freeze Bork with that move. Bork just simply muscles into the corner board. Dineen with a hit on Craig Janney as the Bruins clear it.
Once again, Raymond Bork proves he doesn't have to be on the scoreboard to be a powerful defenseman.
Bruins, who have trailed since the early going in the game, have had 6 shots in the last 28 minutes. Here's a 3-on-1. Lazaro to Janney to Neely, shooting a save by Sidorkiewicz. Sidorkiewicz keeps the Whalers alive. Now we got Shaw and Lazaro tangled up. The linesmen come over to try to pull them apart. As it's Shaw and Lazaro separated. 11:41 to go in the 3rd. Let's pause for a regional break. You're watching the Stanley Cup playoffs on Sports Channel.
Bradshaw and Lazaro go for roughing. But just before that, a 3-1 for the Bruins. I think what Peter Sidorkiewicz says to himself here, you see Janney coming up at the bottom of your screen, as soon as it's on Janney's stick, I better get the heck over to the other side because I know it's going to be a pass, and that's exactly what happened. And he read that quickly and made the save on Neely.
Cam Neely on the rush, 3-on-2 now. Marquardt kicked it ahead to the corner. Neely in after it, throws it in front. Mark Hunter backhands it to Dean Evison. Cote brings it out. Big wind up. The shot is tipped by Don Sweeney in among the customers. Well, Jerry, the Whalers, I should say the Bruins, have followed a road formula perfectly tonight, and they are an excellent road team and have been for a long, long time. Going back to your days, your teams prided themselves in being good road clubs right on through the last 20 years or so, and here they are. They get a 2-0 lead early on, and now they shut down the Whalers with 6 shots in the last 28-plus minutes.
Well, once they got the lead, they became very, very tough, and they know how to win the road. You're correct. They'll have, if they hang on to win this game, they'll have won 2 games in this building. But I remember years ago they couldn't win in this building. It was a chore every time you come in here.
I think it's a Bruin goal every year to get 20 wins in a row, isn't it? Seemed to be a goal for this group. They just missed with 18, but
if you feel you can get 20 wins on the road, you know you're going to be challenging for first overall.
Moog plays it to the corner. Deneen couldn't handle it. He had his stick knocked loose. Cote couldn't get it toward the net. And the Bruins move it out quickly. It's Burry. Knocked down by Cote. Nyland backhands it to Hodge. Couldn't get it out in front. Zalapsky reaches for it. Nyland plays it to the corner. Cote in after it. Pass to Cullen. Cullen cuts through. The pass right into the skates of Raymond Bourque. He keeps it away from Deneen. Hodge cuts ahead. Hodge had it taken away by Ladouceur. Ladouceur trying to shed the check of Nyland. Ladouceur carries on. Wesley back. Plays it by Nyland and out. Richards faced by Sprico. Richards chased further back. Gets some help now from Yake, who brings it ahead. 3-on-3. Terry Yake cuts in, trying to drop it for Krieger. He was in too tight to take the pass. Quick lead is behind Sprico. Zalapsky back ahead of Sprico, and icing results against the Bruins. 9:49 to go in the third period. Zarley, Zalapsky, and the Whalers are looking at a pretty grim situation.
You know, we mentioned at the end of the first period with 4.5 minutes left that the next 5 minutes of the hockey game will go a long way in deciding it. Well, it certainly has, as the Whalers were on a 5-minute uninterrupted power play and failed to score. And I think that's where the Bruins got their confidence up in the checking department and just played a tremendous game defensively.
Pass in front, knocked down. Krieger gets it on goal. He lands on Moog as Huda chips it in behind the net. Krieger and Moog still battling to get out of that net. It's still anchored, apparently. Moog reaches in for a stick now as Huda in behind a Yake. Stuffed it in front. Krieger stopped. The rebound. Moog robs Doug Huda out in front and gets a whistle.
Well, Andy Moog at his best. Once again, the Whalers may have been in too close here, but it took some spectacular goaltending for Moog to preserve his shutout, maintain a 3-goal lead. This is the early part of it. As you see, he's knocked into the net by Krieger, who was pushed by Poulin. And the Whalers still, they keep it in. Now watch in front of the net. We keep talking about how close you can get to the goal. The puck will come to the right, from the right of Andy Moog, right here, almost in the crease. There's a save at Huda, coming in from the point like we thought the Whalers defense would do. Gets robbed by Andy Moog. The Bruins will take a timeout, so we'll have time to watch this as we continue along. First of all, I'm trying to figure out how Moog got his stick back.
As soon as the puck went into the corner to his left, he managed to reach in there and grab it.
know, when I mentioned in the second period that not much fun to play goal, then I retracted my statement a little bit and said, well, it is fun playing goal if you're playing like Andy Moog. Andy Moog, great concentration there. He knows he's got to pick the stick up. Great leg work as he kicked it out with his left foot. And he came back to make 2 sparkling saves. It's fun when it's going this way for you.
Bruins put on quite a checking exhibition in Game 7 last year of this series, and Moog was called upon to make a couple of saves. If I'm not mistaken, that's the game where he made the barehanded glove save because he lost his trapper around the net. It wasn't the hardest of shots, but nevertheless, the Garden crowd thoroughly enjoyed it.
We'll talk as this game goes on, but I still say the crucial period was period 1 in Game 5. Could have been 3 or 4-0 Whalers.
They just will never see better goaltending than that period.
And Andy Moog was vulnerable a couple of times in this series with some weak goals again.
Coming on. Cullen yanked down by Christian. Bork is back for the puck. Crico backhanded to the point. Now out to Lapsky. Apparently did not keep it in. Now he complains to Shane Heyer, who says, forget about it. It's a face-off with 8:58 to go in the third period. We've seen great goaltending in the playoffs. Kirk McLean, Vancouver, a few nights ago.
I didn't get the chance to see the game last night, Chicago, Minnesota, but 6-0. When you go to Chicago Stadium and get a shutout, even if you don't get a shot, it's quite a performance.
Yep. And Shoveldays had some big moments for the Red Wings. Mike Richter the other night, what did he have, 50 shots against him or something in a game with Washington, ended up winning in overtime. But Richter had the leading goals against in the playoffs coming into their action for the Capitals, but he was yanked as the Caps got the early advantage. And Van Beesbrook saw his first action of the playoffs in that game.
I got to believe Van Beesbrook is gone from the Rangers next year.
He checked by Wesley. Well, we had a flurry of activity in the offseason last year. Here's Cullen shooting, tipped by Dineen, and Wesley plays it away. Cote keeps it in. Sadowski fires toward the net, and Verbeek was reaching for it, couldn't tip it. Cullen tries to maneuver around Bork. Cote, you see the time left. The shot knocked down by Moog. Centered, Verbeek tied up backhander, kicked away by Poland. Verbeek goes down looking for a call, doesn't get one. And Sadowski circles at center. Rolls it in. Wesley up the boards to Christian. Danny out through center. Randy Ladouceur off to a great start in this series scoring-wise. He's been steady defensively all throughout. Ladouceur brings it in, dumps it toward the corner. On Sweeney, slaps it off the glass by the leaping Cote. It's icing against Boston. Sear will catch up to it. 7:16 to go in the third. Bruins in control. After this break, we'll check in with C.J. Papa back at our Sports Channel studio.
Montreal strikes early in the third. Brent Gilchrist takes the puck away from Grant Ledyard, gives it to Dennis Savard, his second goal of 39 seconds. Montreal leads it 4-1 in the third. Let's go back to the Civic Center.
Well, it's getting closer and closer. Looks like a Bruin-Montreal Adams Division final. I like the way right now what the Whalers are doing. They're sticking their nose in there, and they're really giving it all they got. I guess that's all you can ask for at this time. But the Whalers should realize what they're doing right now. And it's a long way away till next year. But when they get on top of the Bruin team, they create their chances that way. You do not create many chances on the Bruins from the rush. It's what happens once you control in there.
Rob Brown on the backhand. Goal mouth pass. Long to stop on Dean Evison, who was battling Gary Galley in the goal mouth. They freeze the puck, and the whistle blows as Hodge and Brown arrive on the scene.
This is another brilliant save by Andy Moog as he slid over and probably got this with his right pad, as it would be the bottom pad. You'll see. Watch right to the left of your screen. Usually you make this save. No, he really actually, yeah, he did make it with his bottom pad, the right pad. You see it from ice level. Evison, good pass by Brown. I still believe, Rick, that the Whalers are making it easy for coverage because they're in too close. Now, this opportunity might not have happened if Evison wasn't on the doorstep.
Evison with Hunter and Brown on the ice. Hunter is positioned just out of your picture to the right. Now you see him sneaking in there. He's more or less going to get the puck straight back if Evison controls.
The Whalers got to use three forwards and a defenseman in.
He does. He shoots. He scores! Hunter sends it in off Moog's glove with 6:59 remaining in the third period. It's 3-1.
Well, he said, depending on the next goal, it would have been the Bruins, it'd be history. It was the Whalers. It'll be interesting, and there's 7 minutes left, and there will be interesting. Mark Hunter with his 5th goal of the playoffs, and this is a rocket. I don't think Moog saw this as it went over. One of the Whalers, Rob Brown, went over, who won the draw. But a wicked shot by Mark Hunter. No, it must have been Dean Evison that it went over.
Hunter with a big one. Evison picks up his 4th assist of the series. The only assist at 13:01. It's 3-1. Weaver's pass knocked down by Hunter. See how the Bruins react. We know the Whalers are going to come charging. Poulin throws it out in front. Cote chases it down. Fires in the goal mouth off the leg. Moog back into the net. Fans are upset there's no delay of game call, but Terry Fraser halts play.
Tell you, Rob Brown pointed right to the fact that the net come off its moorings, and he might have a legitimate case right here, as Moog, as the puck was shot to his left, did fall back into the net. We'll get a look at it right here coming up, but Cote's going to shoot it. You'll see him at the top of your screen. Watch Moog as this shot goes wide. Now he did stumble, but that's right, Rick. No one near him. I've been called when I used to play when you couldn't take it off for worse than that. In a very key game once. Let's look as we're closer to ice level here. And in all fairness, he did lose his balance, but I'll tell you, there's been times when that's been called. But as we said, Terry Fraser has put away the whistle, and that always favors the team with the lead. The team with the lead and the team hanging on because they're clutching and grabbing and all.
They have not had a power play opportunity since early in the second period, as Hunter took a penalty at the end of the Bob Sweeney Major early in the second. Here's Richard shooting, blocked by Wesley. Cullen to Richard, shooting, a save by Moog. He hangs on as Verbeek was chopping away in front. That stirs it up a bit as Bork and Deneen get tangled up with the goaltender.
Once again, a sensational save. A tremendous save by Andy Moog. Todd Richards, who's had a fine series. And how about John Collins? He's sticking pitch or what? He gets a little break. He finds it. Richards, and here's the shot, and what a save. Couple hammering right here. Now watch Poulin from behind. I'll tell you something about Dave Poulin. He's one of the better guys in the league from behind. Everyone thinks he's an altar boy and an All-American boy. He is not. He's a dirty player. Quote, unquote.
Ronnie Francis found out as he was on the business end of a Poulin cross-check to the nose earlier this season.
Yeah. He's a good player, Dave Poulin. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a terrific hockey player, and he's so important to this Bruin team, but he gets away with an awful lot. Well, what a save by Andy Moog. I think we should talk about more important things. A sensational save by Moog as he robbed Todd Richards in a fine pass by John Cullen.
Poulin and Cullen in this face-off. Neely grabs it. Rushed by Cullen. Neely tries to regain it. He steps away from Deneen. 6:09 remaining. Third period. Whalers down 2. Their season on the line here as Ladouceur's back. Back to Cote. Lazaro with the forechecking. Cote lost his stick as Ladouceur takes over. The pass ahead of Verbeek. Cullen cuts through, drops it. Dineen takes it, trying to get it back, and it's broken up by Wesley. Pass blocked by Dineen. Lazaro looks to take a chunk of Kevin Dineen as Cullen drives it in. Now as Verbeek goes down to the goal mouth, it's sent the length of the ice. Sidorkovic still has to play it with the on-charging Neely approaching. No icing. Neely follows up. Coates gives it to Lanister. Back to Stevan Coates. Oilers have 9 shots, Boston 3 in this third period. For a while, the shots were 2-1 Boston. I believe with 8 minutes elapsed in the third period. So the Oilers have awoken offensively in a hurry. Neely. Out ahead for Hodge. Hodge dumps it in. Coates watched by Burridge. Zalapski brings it out. He's the man for the job, but he has trouble with a couple of Bruins in that center ice zone. Brown drops it back to Shaw. Evison to Brown. On the off wing, he stops. Hunter can't get the shot away. He's hooked from behind. Shaw with a drive. Kicked out by Moe. And he kicked it on a long rebound to Burridge, and Zalapski drives it in.
Well, we're seeing something special from the Whalers right now. The old college stride. Great effort.
You better believe this guy is at the root of the effort, Mark Hunter. He's been there before. Great conference final series while he was with the Blues against Calgary in '86. And of course, he won the Cup with the Flames in '89. Here's Zalapski. Checked by Skriko. Brown to Sear, poked away by Wesley, and that saved the play. Under 4 minutes to go, third period. Whalers down 2. Let's pause for a local break. You're watching Sports Channel's coverage of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Close to 4 minutes left. Ricky Lee utilizing his offensive players as much as possible. Cullen, Verbeek, Hunter, Gig, Brown. He's trying to get him on there every other shift. He still has a timeout left.
Oilers with 15 shots in the first 20 minutes, 6 over the next 28 minutes, and 9 in the last 8. As they try one last-ditch effort to keep their season going, Sidorkovic keeps it away from Poulin. Zalapski had it poked away by Christian. Shaw takes it. Zarley Zalapski. The pass too far for Cullen. Wesley leads it back for Skriko. He's held up by Shaw. Wesley once again. Gonna lift it in. Couldn't get it in deep though. Skriko gonna do a little of the dirty work along those boards. Cullen gives it to Hunter. Leaving it for Shaw. Dribbled away to Skriko. Zalapski. With 3:11 to go. Third period. Hunter heads up that right side, dropping it back. Cullen had not caught up to his line mates, though, and it was intercepted. Skriko risks it down the ice. Shaw. With a pass deflected into the Hartford bench by Lazaro. This crowd buzzes with anticipation as to what might happen in the final 2:54. Mike Milbury trying to settle everybody down.
He's talking to his veteran line. The line will be out there again before the period's over. Poulin, Christian, and Skriko, a lot of years between them. We haven't seen Craig Janney of late, but he's on there now with 2:54 left.
Richards. Over to Coates. Dineen trying to play it in. It's poked to Evison. Lazaro gets there, lifts it out. Janney's on his way. Richards, though, at a head start. And Janney will just poke it in behind the net. 2:32 left in the third period. Coates out to Rob Brown. Across to Dineen. He'll tap it into the zone. He'll give chase. Don Sweeney back with him. Dineen crunches into the board. Centers. Richards couldn't kick it to the blade of his stick. Pulled a shot as Janney gets it to Lazaro, and out it comes. Richards. Watched by Neely. Brown. Bad pass. Now he goes down. Bruins control play continues. Now Fraser halts play. Bud Govea leaps out there as Brown is checking to see if he is bleeding. He was hit in the throat in game number 2 of the series. Had a swollen larynx for a while.
I wonder if that is re-injured, Rick. But Terry Fraser didn't see it. Now he begged to Ron Asseltine, and I don't know if Asseltine saw it. Janney right here will bring the stick up. Let's see. Right in the throat area. Now the linesman is talking over. Asseltine's going to have to make this decision because Fraser did not see it.
On the earlier injury, Brown was spitting up blood, had to leave the game, obviously, had trouble breathing, went to the hospital for observation, missed game 3, and as he said, the injury threatened his singing career.
Let's go back and look at the injury. You see Brown with the, oh my goodness, that got up quick. So Asseltine, you're not going to see him. He'd probably be a foot up. There will be no call here. And in all honesty, and I really don't harp on the refs that much. The Whalers did not get the best of it tonight with a non-call in the goal. No penalty here. A couple of hooks. I mean, that's just sour grapes at times. But I mean, Asseltine was right down there also, Rick.
Fraser with his explanation to Brown, and Verbeek talks to Ron Asseltine. Carey signals for play to resume as the Bruins had huddled up with 2:05 remaining.
Now we should look, and let's say 30 seconds for the removal of Sidorkiewicz if the play is in the Bruins zone. But what an effort the Whalers are giving when it was so easy to throw in the old towel. They stuck with it.
Zalapski back for it. Chased by Poulin. Zalapski pokes it up the boards. Christian lobs it right back in. Cote, hounded by Petri Strico. That line is on that Jerry spoke of a moment ago for the Bruins. Cullen dumps it to the corner court. Drives it hard around the boards, but not by Hunter. He had Cullen open for a moment, but Poulin had gotten to Hunter very quickly. Under a minute and a half to go. Hunter trying to put it in front. Poulin will send it down the ice. Sidorkiewicz will let it go. It's an icing signal. Cote is back to touch up.
99% of all the time that happens right there, that would never be called. But usually when it's late in the game, the team that trails gets a slight break in that situation.
Ricky Lee talks it over with assistant Jay Leach as Sidorkiewicz is standing 20 feet in front of his net waiting for a signal, and he got the word. He's coming off. 1:17 left.
I'm very impressed with what the Whalers have done here. I'm impressed with their desire and the fact they didn't quit. It was so easy to quit in this situation, but they showed a lot of character.
Well, as the Whalers take a timeout, certainly one of the aims of the rebuilding project, as we've seen with 10 trades made since last July to this year's training deadline, it's a top-to-bottom type of project in this organization. Ed Johnston, certainly with some fine work by Jimmy Roberts in Springfield, has gotten the farm system turned around. He had a first-place club this year, and now bringing in the likes of Cullen, Hunter, Zalapski at the trading deadline, try to build some renewed character here, as well as improve the skill level with people like Bobby Holik certainly in the focus and the future of this team. And it's not going to happen overnight. Never has. If it's lasted, it never has happened overnight.
That's right. How about Todd Richards and Terry Yake?
Yeah.
Showing some great potential.
A lot of promise from the youngsters from Springfield. 21 players saw action with both teams this year. And you see those one-season wonders every once in a while in the NHL. Well, the rebuilding doesn't happen that quickly if it's going to last any length of time. It's a tough spot that the management here finds itself in because the fans want a winner. They're impatient. They've seen a few favorites traded away. I think the vast majority of Whaler fans are going to hang in there, though, because they're going to like the results eventually.
Yeah, it's very important for the Whalers to be a top team next year, Rick. Hey, meanwhile, this isn't over yet. We got a minute 17 left. It's up to them what they do to keep and put new fans into this building, but maybe the next minute 17 will help that out.
It certainly would. Now, Weimer's banging his stick on the boards. He wants to get somebody's attention for instructions from Milbury. Cullen has Brown, Verbeek, and Hunter to his left. Coates along the right board. Zalapski, the trigger man, back of the blue line. Poulin will oppose Cullen on this draw. Whalers control. Zalapski has it. Going to carry it down the boards. Poulin in his pass. Zalapski to Cullen. Brown's parked in front. Everybody crashes to net. Cullen waits, shoots, and as he scores, it's washed out. The net was dislodged in a crowd of players around Andy Moog, and Kerry Fraser calls for the face-off with 1:06.
The Whalers did a terrific job of coming up with the puck off the face-off here. Pat Verbeek. I'll tell you, once again, that is Moog. The referee has got to look at this. Verbeek worked hard not to get involved in taking the net off. The veteran Andy Moog is really the guy who took it off. He's got away with some shady things out there. Let's go back and watch this again at ice. Now watch Verbeek try. Look at this. Look at his attempt to do that. Now Moog, there wasn't a guy near Moog.
Just to add these incidents and a long line of things that have frustrated the Hartford Whalers down the stretch of this season and through this series. As the puck comes loose to Cullen, tapped away. Cote fires, blocked by Bourque. A minute to go. Verbeek trying to keep it alive. Poulin pushes it down the boards. Zalapski has to hurry. Strico keeping an eye on it. Cote across to Pat Verbeek. Cullen on the move. Lifts it in deep. Bourque winds it back up the boards. Zalapski holds it into Cullen. Going to play it to the corner. Now Cullen cups in front, shoots a save by Moog. The rebound, Cullen jams at it. The puck still up for grabs, and it's covered in the goal mouth with 32 seconds remaining in the third, and presumably it's Moog who has that puck covered. He's got plenty of help in there.
All 6 Bruins are either in the crease or within a foot of the crease. Once again, the Whalers digging in to get a closer. John Cullen. This is another good save, I believe. This is deflected a couple of times. We're going to see all 6 Whalers, or we're seeing 5 Whalers, 6 Bruins. This is what you call piling on. Pat Albert, the effective guy in that case.
We're going to get more debris showered on the ice around the net. Bourque and Moog talk it over. They've been through this a few times together. Moog joined the Bruins.
This third period's really been that old case of prevent defense. Really doesn't. It may work out tonight, but it's not the proper way of playing. This reminds me a little bit of the Whalers in games 3 and 4 holding on. 12-3 the shots favoring the Whalers.
Bruins with a total of 16 in the hockey game. They scored on their first 2, or 2 of their first 3 shots anyway. And right now, those goals stand as the difference. Bob Sweeney's goal at 8:50 the first is the lead goal of the game with 32 seconds to go in the third period. Whalers down 3-1. Cullen calls Zalapski in tight on the circle. He wins the draw. Zalapski takes it. Now trying to step out of that corner. Backhands it front. Brown is stopped by Moog, who got a stick on it. Pass is picked off. Out comes Hodge. On to the move across that red line. Gave it up to Cote. 15 seconds to go as Bourque sails it off the glass. Zalapski has to turn back for it. Charlie Zalapski gives it to Hunter, driving it down the ice, and that's going to do it. The Boston Bruins, as we get a whistle and an icy call against Hartford. 4 seconds to go, and the Whalers down 2 here in Game 6.
It was a great effort by the Whalers when it seemed they had no chance. They never threw in the towel and kept trying, and you're looking at the #1 star, Andy Moog, for the second consecutive game Very responsible for victory in Game 5. Very responsible for victory in Game 6. 4 seconds left. But I think we saw a lot tonight in this third period about the future of the Hartford Whalers.
Yep. Well, the big fellas for the Bruins haven't figured so much in the scoring, as you pointed out, Jerry. Defensively, they've minded their assignments very well, but a guy like a Vladimir Ruzichka has come up big offensively early in the game.
That's been the history of the Bruins, Rick. A lot of times you don't know who the guy is that's going to surface and give you that edge. You always look for an edge in a series and in deciding games, and Ruzichka tonight was a difference. He was involved in the first 2 goals. He didn't get an assist on the first goal, but he was the guy very much responsible.
Off the face-off, Polanski has it, fires, and that's the end of the season for the Hartford Whalers. The Boston Bruins clinch this Adams Division semifinal series, 4-2 over the Hartford Whalers with a 3-1 victory tonight before a sellout crowd of 15,635 at the Hartford Civic Center Coliseum, and the Bruins celebrate. The Whalers console themselves and prepare to shake hands. At center ice, the tradition in Stanley Cup play as the series comes to an end, as the Bruins will go on to face either Montreal or Buffalo. Montreal is trying to close out its series with the Sabres tonight at Memorial Auditorium.
Leading the way is Andy Moog in the handshaking department, and he should be first in that line, as he was the top Bruin player. I thought from other areas also that Wesley didn't play a great game tonight, didn't have to. He was also a top player in this series, as was Bork and Poulin, and they were the better team. There's no argument about it. But you know what they were, Rick? They were prepared and ready for the breaks that they got. And if you're not ready to take advantage of the breaks, then you usually don't win. The Bruins, through whatever you want to say, tradition, history, pleasant preparation, they were ready to take advantage of the breaks they got. One of the main breaks was a goal by this man here on the power play at the start of the third period in Game 5. But an interesting series and a very entertaining one and well played by each team.
Well, when you go to the playoffs 24 straight times, you learn how to win games and key games and series. That's what the Bruins did. They closed it out 3-1 with a victory in Game 6. They won the series 4-2. For some of our Sports Channel audience, we bid you farewell. And for others, stay with us. We'll continue from the Civic Center in a moment.